Hi guys, we are ready for week 1, day 3, and this is going to be from page 100 to page 110 in your packet. So here is our reading passage. It's entitled Whiteout. A strange fungus continues to attack the country's bat population. Recently, bats with fuzzy white noses have popped up in the Indiana, Ohio, Maine, North Carolina, and Kentucky regions. It's an ominous development, white nose syndrome. A disease that kills hibernating bats has officially been spread into 5 more states. The mysterious syndrome was first discovered in the state of New York in 2007. From there, it appeared across the United States and Canada. Infected bats can now be found in 16 states and 4 Canadian provinces. Scientists have learned a great deal about the disease since its discovery. There's much they don't understand, though, including how to stop it. There's a lot of work still being done, says Tom Coons, a bat expert at Boston University. Time is of the essence. More than 1 million and perhaps as many as 2 million bats have died already, Coons says. We've got a disease that is causing one of the most precipitous declines of bats in American history, he says. Skin and bone. White nose syndrome is named for the white fungus that typically appears on the muzzles, which is the nose, and other body parts of infected bats. Initially, scientists weren't sure whether the fungus caused the disease. Many suspected it was an opportunistic infection, a secondary infection that gains a foothold in an animal already weakened by another illness. Researchers haven't found any other infectious agents in the sickened bats. So most now agree that the fungus is the likely cause of the WNS. The fungus is new to science, and researchers have named it Geomyces destructans. We still haven't determined how the bats are actually dying from the fungal infection, says Jeremy Coleman, the National WNS Coordinator for the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. One clue, infected bats seem to run out of fat in the middle of the winter. Bats need that fat to nourish themselves until spring. Without it, they die. Normally, hibernating bats wake briefly once or twice a month, Coons says. Infected bats arouse from hibernation every 4 or 5 days. They then expend valuable calories flying around. That activity probably explains why the bats are so skinny. Every arousal burns up body fat, he says. What makes infected bats wake up so often? Some scientists have proposed an itch and scratch hypothesis. Just as people scratch their toes like crazy when they have athlete's foot, a common fungal infection, bats might feel a similar itch when the fungus invades their skin. The uncomfortable sensation could be rousing them from their winter naps. Then again, the bats might just be thirsty. One of skin's many jobs is preventing water loss. In bats, healthy wing membranes help maintain a water balance in the body. The fungus damages bat wings, causing small holes and scar tissue to appear in the membranes. Bats could be losing excessive water through their injured wings, some scientists propose. The animals might be waking up to find a drink and avoid dehydration, which is an excessive loss of water. Fungus among us. The fungus G. destructans is itself puzzling. Hundreds of other species of Geomyces fungi live in U.S. caves but don't bother bats at all, says Coleman. And though G. destructans has been found in caves in Europe, bats there appear unaffected by it. Do European bats possess a gene that makes them resistant to fungus? In European, G. destructans somehow differ from the strains found in the U.S. We're trying to figure out why this fungus is so devastating for North American bats, Coleman says. Meanwhile, the best hope for North American bats seem to be preventing any further spread of WNS. The disease is thought to spread from bat to bat, says Coleman, but researchers haven't ruled out the possibility that people are spreading it too. The Fish and Wildlife Service has played it safe and closed a number of caves to human visitors. We're trying to prevent people from moving the fungus faster than the bats can, Coleman says. So far, WNS has been found in 9 bat species, including 2 endangered ones, the Indiana bat and the gray bat. As more states and more species are affected, the impact of WNS could snowball. Bats play an important role in their ecosystems. A bat can eat half its weight in insects every night. A female bat that's lactating or feeding her pups with milk can gulp down twice that amount. Insect-eating bats in the U.S. saves farmers at least $3 billion a year by swallowing bugs that would otherwise damage crops, according to an analysis in the journal Science. WNS is just beginning to move into the Midwest, the nation's agricultural heartland. As it continues to spread, we could see an agricultural impact, Coleman says. Scientists across the country are hard at work studying the bats, the fungus, and potential ways to manage the disease. Bats provide a real value, Coons says. This is a massive loss. All right, next is vocabulary.